Welcome back to Co's Q, and yes, we are between the holidays of Thanksgiving and Christmas, roughly about 12 days out from the big day. And this is about the time when you get your menus and recipes together for what you're going to cook for your family. And I know the traditional cuts of meat like the ribeye, the prime rib, or the filet is something that's often cooked, but not everybody likes beef. And what I'm going to do today is show you an alternative, very tasty alternative, the pork loin. Usually it's traditionally sort of a bland cut of meat if you don't do the proper steps it takes to infuse it with some flavor. But this one's about 4 pounds, and we're going to be injecting it with some Tony Chachere's Creole butter. And then once that's done, we're going to let it sit for several hours until later this afternoon, and then we're going to dust it down with some Heath Rowell's honey chipotle, and then top it off with some Jim's Own fresh ground pepper, just for a little added bark. That'll roughly take, I don't know, 1.5 hours based on it being almost 4 pounds, I believe. We'll try to keep the temp somewhere between 250 and 275. So not an extremely long cook, but I definitely don't want to cook it too fast either, because this thing's can dry out pretty quick. You only want to get it to about 135 to 138 and then let it carry over to that 142, 145 magical internal temp to where it's completely tender and very, very tasty with the steps that we've taken here. So come on, join me. All right, now let's set the injection up. I got about a half a cup, maybe just short of the half bottle of this Creole butter. And because it doesn't need any more than that. This isn't the whole loin. This is just shy of 4 pounds. They're usually double, and in some cases larger than that, the full loin. But we're just cooking a portion of that. This could be a third or a half, depending on the size of the loin that it was cut off of. But this is plenty big enough for my family and most families. But yeah, you feel free, if you got a large enough apparatus to cook it on and set it up, then by all means do the whole loin. It'll be equally as good and equally as tender. This is just all we need for now. But like I said, I'm not using the whole thing. I'll refrigerate that, and I'll use that at a later date for something else. All right, it's literally took the majority of that cup, and it is plumped up perfectly. Exactly what you want to see. Very little came out, which is a really good sign that it was injected properly and that it's going to adhere internally. It's going to hold that moisture in, which in turn will also hold the flavor in. So that's what we're looking for. I actually can use what's left over this butter that's gotten sort of a little bit squirt out. You can use that as a binder as well for the rubs that you use later in the process. So this is going to the refrigerator, going to lightly cover it, and going to rub it down a little later in the afternoon. Just going to let this kind of hang out for a few hours. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, now it's time to rub this thing down, dust it down, however you want to call it. And it's been sitting for roughly about, I want to say 7 hours injected. Still has a good sheen on it from the oil, from the Creole butter that we injected. I rubbed it all over it prior to throwing it in the refrigerator. Now we're going to give it a good helping of the honey chipotle rub from Heath Rowell's. It can take a lot. It's a nice cut of meat. I didn't have to do much trimming. I mean, it seems to be perfectly trimmed. This fat's going to render down nicely. No reason to trim it. And yeah, once we can do that, we're going to go and put it on our Oklahoma Joey's Bronco out there. Try to keep it somewhere between 225 and 250. And should turn out pretty good. I just don't think I'll have much light out there to show you the process as it's cooking, but we'll see what we can get done. All right, now we're gonna let this hang out and sweat a little bit as we get the grill prepped out there. Gonna get a little cherry wood chunk to throw in there with it. Not a ton, just enough to kiss some smoke on it. It's not gonna cook for an extremely long period of time to where it can absorb a lot, but you will get a little bit of a smoke ring, and that's all we're looking for. All right, so let's go get the grill done. All right, we got the pork loin on the cooker, and temperature steady right at 200. And let's just take a look at it. That way you get an idea of what it looks like on there. It will have to be rotated since the heat source is directly below it, which is perfectly fine. We'll be monitoring. I do not have a temp probe in there. I'm going to probe it from time to time with my thermopin, and just take it from there. Should be about an hour and a half, maybe an hour 45. We'll check back here shortly. All right, it's the next day. We literally finished what was left of that pork loin here at work. There was a lot more left over than I thought would be at the house. What you've seen cut up, I think we were able to eat about a third of that, and it literally fed 9 people comfortably. Some of that was made out of sandwiches, so it helped spread it that far, but a $10 cut of meat just inside of a 4-pound pork loin. I don't really get much better than that, especially with how high prices are when it comes to food nowadays. Anything you can do to save $1 and still produce a really good product for your friends and family, that goes a long way, especially during the holidays. I'll put some information in the description box and other videos of the greats that I follow on YouTube and other channels, and I get literally everything that I do from them, and I appreciate that. Yeah, most of y'all know who I'm talking about because I mention them often. But hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas holiday, and New Year. I doubt I'll do anything between now and then, so I'll see you in 2023. Y'all be safe.